Open the council meeting for the 20th of July. Invite Taku to start with our karakia. Thank you. I'll remind people that obviously we've got recordings and we have Councillor Leggett online. We have apologies from Councillor Philo and Councillor Hayward. So I'll move that. Seconded by Councillor Trillin. All those in favour? All those against? Carried. We've got no requests for public forum. Any conflicts of interest declarations? Nope. So confirmations of minutes from the 29th of July. I will move that, seconded by Councillor Ford. Any issues? No. All those in favour? All those against? Carried. My report. It's been a quick 3 weeks, or a long 3 weeks. We started off with Matariki. We've had citizenship, where we had another 53 residents sworn in. Wendy and I visited Minister Marama Davidson to discuss our children and young persons report. Unfortunately, we've had the passing of a couple of people. We had tangis, so we had one of our Māori wardens, Mike August, and then we went to Lower Hutt for the Kamatua, Dr. Ika Pukatapu. So it's hard for everybody. I did a 7-hour shift with the Wellington Free Ambulance crew, and I have to say that was a real eye-opener. Obviously, our hospital's absolutely packed. We did a quick tour of the call centre as well. Can't say I enjoyed the 130k under lights on the road, but these guys are skilled drivers, so appreciate all they do. And I went to the I'm going to get this right, Te Heikea Awards for the Māori Digital and Tech, and it was a fantastic evening where we had AT College, their group perform, which I have to say they were the highlight for me. They were just fantastic, but the awards themselves were great. Ngāti Toa were a sponsor, had a really good turnout. We've had Kiribati Language Week with the flag raising, more dancing, and I'm still not getting any better. Then Phil and I attended the FIFA Pōwhiri in Wellington with the South African and the Swedish teams, where the South African teams took over with their supporters, which was absolutely fantastic with all their drumming and singing. And we were very lucky to pick up a fully signed jersey, which we will get framed and put over in the arena. Last Thursday was Matariki, where we celebrated with Ngāti Toa by joining them at Whitireia. Jeff, Wendy and I and Reuben went up nice and early, 5 and 5:30 bus with Mayor Campbell Barry and a number of people from Wellington City Council, and that went really well. It was a bit nippy, unfortunately, with the wind, but a very successful Matariki, I think. We had the Governor-General come to visit. We hosted her here for a small lunch for a few volunteer groups, and then she's visited the 502's Solid Oral Healthcare and the Olo Football Academy. So she had a successful day in Porirua. We followed that up with the blessing of the light boxes in the evening, and then the Matariki light display, and then the Tokomoanawa Queen's first game, which unfortunately they lost, but they had a really good turnout, so I'm hoping the next one we get a few more people along. We joined the South African team at Porirua Park this week with 143 school children from across Porirua to watch them train, and they got things signed, so that was great. And then, of course, we had the Airport Awards on Tuesday night, where our supreme winner was the Atafu Tokola group. So that was an awesome evening, great community turnout, so I congratulate them all. Taku, anything from you?
Yeah, highlight. Sorry for the last few weeks was Matariki. The invitation extended out to Te Atiawa from the Hutt. They came down and joined us in the program. So, no, thank you.
Okay, we go to our first report, 11.1. Local government's debrief and electoral matters. So I'll move it, put it on the table, seconded by Councillor Duncan.
I just wanted to just quickly ask if there were, with the new establishment of the Māori ward, if there were efforts made to contact all marae across the city, given it was a city-wide ward.
Kia ora, Councillor. Through the Chair, we did make efforts to contact Māori across the city. Unfortunately, most of the physical events we attended were Ngāti Toa invited events that they were putting on, and we attended on their invitation. I will say that our digital campaign did try and focus on Māori and young people as well to try and turn out that vote. And in the future as well, in 2025, through the Rotaki Māori strategy that Council's developing right now, we're building relationships with both mana whenua and taurahera to connect with them better. And that's going to present some really exciting opportunities for us to go to non-mana.
Thank you. That was my next question, was given the poor voter turnout in that particular ward. It's actually the next local body elections.
Yeah, so that's going to be one of our focuses in early 2025 is encouraging people of Māori descent, if they wish to switch roles, to switch roles. There, as you know, the lock-up period in the legislation begins in July. So, yeah, it'll be a big focus in those first couple of months when we're doing that, building the role stage of the campaign.
Councillor Ford?
So just on that point that the Deputy Mayor has raised around, so the Porirua ward was a citywide seat. Was there an opportunity, because not every Māori is connected to a marae in the city, so was there an opportunity for those candidates to then present at citywide events that the council had actually run?
And to instead encourage people to attend the resident association run ones across the city. And I know that, and Councillor Wehapi, you could probably speak to this, there were a number of those that the Māori ward candidates were invited to. Yeah.
Councillor Duncan?
Yeah, thanks. Look, I've got my doubts about the efficacy of STV. And honestly, the system should be as fair and accessible as possible. And I think that it muddies the water for people. In my ward, 15 people standing, trying to allocate those people, trying to judge which one right across 15 is ridiculous. It was interesting on page 53, the LGNZ 2022 voter survey said 47% of people supported going back to FPP, who still have first past the post, what the turnout there was in comparison to ours. Because we've had it since, 2004, and I think voting numbers have been dipping ever since then. So I'd be keen to know those statistics if I could have them.
From memory, Wellington City's participation did go up, but it had a very hot mayoral race, so that is pretty well guaranteed to get numbers out. Region, yeah, yeah, the hut, yeah, and we'll do the whole region, yeah.
TV.
And they had a very tight mayoral race.
They're a different demographic. I
Yeah,
was thinking Lower Hutt would
Yeah.
be more.
Okay, no. Oh, sorry. Yes, sorry.
Could great, thanks.
We can bring it
Before
back to the
September,
next
so we
council
can.
meeting if you like. I see.
17th of August, I think that would be. Double check. Councillor Leggett?
As I completely disagree with him. I think it's a long bow to draw that there's a relationship between STV and dropping participation rates. So we can have this discussion and it's a...
But we've also got Jeff and Kathleen missing, so we can't really make a decision on this without that many. I'll withdraw it. Wendy's going to withdraw it.
I'll just withdraw it.
Okay.
And bring it back to the 17th of August.
Thank you. Okay. We'll move to our long-term plan draft strategic framework. I'm going to move it to put it on the table, seconded by...
Not so much a question as just to note, I think the process we went through on this was really, really good. I think the proposed new focuses and strategic priorities are specific priority, building towards a low carbon city and proactively addressing the challenges of climate change, of course, these new priorities.
Thank you. Anybody else? No? Okay. These individually, or have I got any issues with any of them? Oh, I do actually, don't I? With the last one. I could take 1 to 10 because I know Mike wants to speak to number 11. Councillor Ford. Do you want to speak to it?
Yeah. Okay, look. I can't believe that we're not supporting Wanganui in this particular one, because all they're asking for is a review of the auditing.
Yeah.
$250,000 that we're spending just so that the Auditor General can be happy that we're actually complying with the legislation. We've got a lot of intelligent people working for Council who are making sure that happens, but the Auditor General wants to be reassured. Well, he should pay for it. I think the review should look at him paying for that, because over is outrageous. That's $1 million that we won't have to fix pipes, to fix leaks, to get out into the community and have functions. It's $1 million dead money. And okay, let him have his. So I think that should go back to the Office of the Auditor General, and the least we should be doing is supporting Wanganui and those other councils around the area who want to have it looked at, because it needs to be looked at. And especially under the 3 waters, when we lose.
Okay, would anyone else like to speak to that? Councillor Trillin.
Yeah, I wonder if we could have, I'm not sure who'd be appropriate to speak to this, but a council officer maybe talk to what the process is for speak to the auditing process currently and what the principles are based off of. And the reason I raise it, we want to be supporting a review that's going to cost a whole lot of money and ultimately recommend that nothing changes. So yeah, someone could speak to that. I'd be interested in hearing.
Yeah.
I'll speak to it briefly, and then Auditor General, it's giving assurance to the public, and that is the vehicle for giving assurance to the public through that mechanism. So this is an independent assurance process to say, yes, Porirua City Council is doing what it says it is doing. So, and I guess just the rationale for not supporting it is that we have all suffered, as we know, from 600-person shortage of auditors in the country. I didn't know we had 600 auditors in the country, but nonetheless, they are subject to the same cost increases as us, and interrogating exactly what they are doing doesn't seem like a particularly useful review. So that's why the officers recommended what they did. But in terms of the detail that Councillor Trillin is asking for, I'll pass to Roy, who will be able to shed more light on that.
Yeah, through you, Chair. It is based upon best practice, and the idea of actually run at a loss. I think you'll find that most companies run audits as a loss leader. So I think that's just worthwhile bearing in mind. And part of that process, the Office of the Auditor General sets the fees based on a consistency across all council sites. As Wendy had mentioned, is the fact that the assurance that it does give the public. And if I go back to when they first came out with structure strategy, and unless they actually are linked up and joined to say a common message, then there will be some issues. So that's one of the sort of, I guess, the criteria they look at to provide that surety, particularly around, based upon those 2 documents, the rates are set and the capital expenditure, so they want to make sure that there is some consistency through that. Now, I'd have to say over time, all councils have got better, but what tends to happen is that as something new occurs, the Office of the Auditor General will require the auditor to focus on that particular issue. So we will know that for this long-term plan coming up, there will be more effort or interest shown on the affordable waters reforms and how we are actually managing that through that. So that tends to be what drives most of the stuff. So hopefully that answers your question.
You got to follow up, Mike?
Yeah. Look, my whole point with the review was that once a year, maybe once every 3 years, and if something's found, then maybe more regularly. But the review could look at that and say, yeah, all right, we'll do this once every 3-4 years. Does it have to be done every year?
we have an annual report every year. I think it's conventional to have every annual report that you do. There's no, certainly private companies, schools, all, government, everybody complies with that audit requirement.
Follow up, yeah.
Just one last thing, is that to say that it's to give the public reassurance, the public don't trust us, and they're not going to trust the Auditor General any more than they trust us, are they?
Okay, that was a comment. Councillor Leggett.
Well, I support I don't support Mike. I support our potential decision not to support this remit. Wendy and Roy have already said there are specific requirements around this that I don't think we can get around. If it's just an exercise to save money on that basis, then I think it's a complete waste of time.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Okay, so I'll take the number 11 at the end. So we're going number 1, support the allocation of risk and liability in the building sector from Queenstown. 2, support the rates rebate Horowhenua. 3, support roading and transport maintenance funding New Plymouth. 4, support local election accessibility from Whangarei. 5, ability for co-chairs at formal meetings support. We're not supporting number 6, the parking infringement penalties from Whangarei. 7, support rural and regional transport from Waikato. 8, support Hutt City establishing a resolution service for young elected members. 9, do not support the earthquake-prone buildings for Manawatu. 10, support the KiwiSaver contribution for elected members from Hamilton. So I'll move all those because we all seem to agree. So move all those in favour? All those against? Carried. And number 11 is the audit fees. We're saying we do not support. I will move that. Might have to raise your hands then. Support? 1. So do not support is 1. Sorry. Audit fees, we are not supporting it. Yeah, we're not supporting Whangarei. So I'm saying all those in favour of sticking to what we've got, as it says in the paper. Yeah. Yeah. So as it says here, do not support. Yeah. Sorry. So the Mayor, Councillor Trillin, Councillor Leggett and Councillor Johnson. And 4, so you want to support it. Councillor Wehapi, Councillor Nalo, Councillor Duncan, Councillor Waddle and Councillor Ford. So that is passed. So we will change that to say we support. Thank you, Mike. Well done. So that brings us to the end of the meeting. We are closing at 8:52 and we will then go into a workshop. Thank you.